So guys, I want to just, meaning I'm going to attempt to put this to rest once and for all. I really will. Before I get to Donald J. Trump, I'm going to start with his father. Two stories. One kind of general story, or I guess well-known story, at least to the people who care. Donald Trump, Fred Trump, back in the 50s, if I'm not mistaken, the 50s, helped to revive and rebuild a yeshiva, a Talmud Torah for married / professional guys in Brooklyn on Avenue Z. I will tell you the actual streets, between what streets, because I used to live there, guys, from when we came to America in 87. We moved to that area in 1988 to Avenue Z. In between, I believe it's West Street and West 2nd, or West and East 1st, or Ocean Parkway. If I'm not mistaken. There was a Talmud Torah. Today, it's actually a Chabad, because the guys who were there, they all pretty much passed away, the old-timers, and Chabad took it over. But before that, it was an mono-Orthodox shul, or just a regular mainstream Orthodox shul, a synagogue, and a Talmud Torah, and a place of learning. So Fred Trump, when he bought the buildings in that area, one of the things he did, because he loved Jews so flippin' much, somebody told him, there's like this thing that it's called, tzedakah, right? Charity, and part of what you make from your income, it's good to donate to charity. So what did he do? He helped build a Talmud Torah. That's a kind of a general story, guys, about Fred Trump. The personal story is that when we lived there, my father used to see Fred once a month. Why? Because he used to drop off the rent check. And Fred was a very meticulous businessman. He was a very hands-on guy. As much as he was making hand over fist in real estate, he sat in that management office on Avenue Z and made sure everything was on up and up. That's pretty much what he did. My father used to see him once a month, at least once a month, to give the rent check, and also in case there were any issues. And I can tell you guys, Fred Trump absolutely loved the newly arriving Soviet Jews, Russian-speaking Jews. He loved us. Why? Because we're hard workers. We came here with nothing in our pockets, $300, $200. And, my father at the time worked as an IT guy on Wall Street. That's back when people still wore suits, back when they still had, the briefcases. You know what I'm saying? The anti-Semite, Fred Trump. Okay, now let's get to Donald Trump. Guys, I'm going to reel some things off, just literally off the top of my head, and frankly, if I miss anything, feel free to add. These are the things that Trump did both as president of the United States and prior to that for Israel and or Jews in America or Israel, both. First of all, guys, back in the 80s, when Israel's government, wonderful government, pulled Jews out of a place called Yamit in the Sinai, not just Yamit, other towns in the Sinai, when we gave away that giant swath of land called the Sinai, which is bigger than like the rest of Israel in terms of landmass, Jews got kicked out of their homes. So one of the people who donated to organizations that were building homes in the south of Israel, close to Gaza, to relocate those people, one of the people was Donald Trump. There's a plaque there in Israel that has Trump's name on it. The community, I believe, is of Neve Dekalim, or if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong. He received for this a JNF, a Jewish National Fund Award Eitz Chaim Award from the JNF for this donation. It proudly, folks, proudly hangs in his Manhattan office, overlooking Central Park, overlooking Woolman Ring, which he rebuilt, by the way, for free. That's a different story, guys. Which I won't even get into now. Proudly hangs in his office. Eitz Chaim, Tree of Life Award from JNF. Horrible anti-Semite. Horrible, horrible. Next, guys. Won't even mention all his, relationships with people who support Israel over the years and supporting Israel himself over the years. Now let's get to his work as president. These are the most readily accessible facts off the top of my head. Moved the American embassy to Jerusalem after president before him promised to do so but never did. Recognized the Golan Heights as part of Israel after previous presidents who were, some of them were calling it occupied territory, some of them were kind of just like neither here nor there about it. Recognized Golan Heights as part of Israel. What else? Ma'od, as we say. Basically declared that Judea and Samaria is part of Israel and that Jews should be able to build there. He did it kind of in an indirect way via Mike Pompeo. But guys, his administration, I would say, is more right-wing than Bibi's administration in Israel itself. The horrible right-winger Bibi. Or as I like to call him, the fake right-winger, honestly. Next. Defunded Palestinian Authority offices in Washington, D.C. Why the hell they even had them to begin with there? Nobody, that is a mystery to me. We can talk to our friend Barack Hussein Obama about that. Okay. Also defunded the PA in the territories in Israel. Defunded any, pulled government funding from any Palestinian clubs in American universities. Created an office to combat anti-Semitism, the first of its kind, folks. It never existed before Trump himself created it. Okay. I forget the name of the guy who headed up the office. Jewish guy, obviously. Next. I said that about the PA. I said that about all the rest of it. Oh yeah, passed or wrote a executive order. Sorry, not a resolution. An executive order declaring the Jews to be a nation, not just a religion, but I guess you can say, an ethnicity/nation. These are a people, a distinct people, not a religion, not just a religion, right? Not a separate religion. So, I mean, that's incredible, guys. That's actually incredible. What else? Yes, commuted the sentence of the egregious sentence where the punishment did not fit the crime of Rabbi Sholem Rubashkin. It's a long kind of a story. Rabbi Sholem Rubashkin was sentenced to 27 years in prison for something, that warrants maybe 7 years. He was given a sentence of, the same sentence like murderers or people who commit manslaughter get for something that's like, 7 years maximum. So he commuted the sentence of this gentleman. I mean, what a horribly anti-Semitic thing to do. Killed the Iran deal, which is basically a kicking the can down the road kind of a deal that allows Iran to, build make nuclear weapons, nuclear capabilities. Killed, personally, Soleimani, the mastermind, the terror mastermind general in Iran, and then declared the guy died like a dog. Amazing. Finished off ISIS completely, almost completely. I mean, now they're back. What else did he do? Guys, I mean, the list is so flippin' long. I probably forgot a bunch of things. I forgot a bunch of things here. But the list is so flippin' long. And for people to come and say that this guy, I mean, it really shows you in terms of the depths of, first of all, the manipulation in the media. Not only the manipulation, but basically the omission. You know, it's lying by omission. You just don't include things. You don't mention things. And when things are mentioned, you kind of like, you know, you put them on the back pages, or you know, I had friends who like said, oh, hey, he did all that stuff because he wanted their business. He wanted to do business. It was all for money, just like his dad did all that stuff. I mean, guys, like, I mean, this is just like, you gotta, like, guys, you know, sometimes I get the feeling that if Trump came and said, you know, everyone, this is my best impression, guys, best I can do. You know, everyone, I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna fund half of the building of the third temple in Jerusalem, and Jordan's gonna pay for the other half. Guys, if he came and did that, 75% of the Jews in America would still call him an anti-Semite. If he built the third, if he you know, committed funding to building the third temple in Jerusalem, they would still call him anti-Semite. Guys, the Derangement Syndrome is so deep. The mental Egypt, the mental Mitzrayim is so flippin' deep. The I don't know, like the plantation, the political plantation is so entrenched that they cannot get over it. They cannot see the forest through the trees, guys. 75% of the American Jews, you know, as far as I can tell. Some of them today said, oh, we're not going to vote for Trump. We're not going to vote for Biden, but we're not going to vote for Trump. Maybe we'll vote for Nikki Haley. Guys, I'm just wondering to the people, to those of you who realize that Biden is nothing more than Obama 3.0, even when it comes to Israel. Yes, when it comes to Israel. And you could say Biden, he likes Bibi, or Biden has a soft spot for Israel. Guys, but he's carrying out the agenda of Obama. Okay? When this attack happened, guys, and Israel sent 300,000 troops to the border, they had to wait about 2 weeks. And you could say, oh, planning and this and that and the other. Guys, this whole thing was already, they know exactly what to do and how to do it. Okay? They know exactly where everything was, how everything that needs to be done. What happened? They had to wait for Biden to come and Blinken to come and a few other people to come and basically give them the marching orders. Here's what you can do, here's what you can't do, because we're sending our ships here, the U.S. Navy, and you know, here's what's going on with Yemen and Iran. I get it, it's a complex situation, guys, but the point is, this is Obama 3.0. They're still yakking about the two-state dissolution illusion. They're still yakking about all these other things that don't mean anything of the sort. Okay? And these people are like, oh, we're gonna vote for DeSantis and or Nikki Haley. Folks, what if Trump, and we know that Trump is going to, barring any of these fake court cases, really, we know that he's going to come out as a Republican nominee. So what are you going to do? You could sit home, guys. I mean, yeah, you know, there's not that many of us Jews, right? It's not like we're swaying the whole vote. It's not like we're going to make one difference one way or the other here. Or are we? My friends, just a word of advice from I'll end off here. A word of advice from a former Soviet citizen and the son of refuseniks whom you guys fought for to get us out of the Soviet Union. Stop listening to the Soviet media in America. Do your own research. And I understand, you know, you could say, well, I'm not a one-issue voter. But guys, if you're calling somebody an anti-Semite, in this day and age, right? What I would advise you is make sure that they're actually an anti-Semite. You can tell me about David Duke, you can tell me about Charlottesville and all the rest of it. Guys, Donald Trump can't stop who votes for him, right? He can't go to the ballot box and say, hey, David Duke, don't vote for me and all the rest of it. He's not his friend. He's not the friend of anti-Semites. He's not. He is not. He isn't. Straight up. So guys, I would give you some advice. Stop listening to the Soviet media. Do your own research. Use your brain. We're in a very precarious time right now, guys. And yes, it really comes down to this one issue, because this one issue at the moment is a barometer for everything else, guys. It's a barometer for good versus evil. You know, some lady wrote, she's like, listen, what about Trump and this and that and the other? And the far right here and the far right in Israel. I said, lady, there is no far right. There are just rabid leftists and communists, and there are normal people. The reason you think that there's a far right, this fictional far right, is because what's something called the Overton Window has been moved so far to the left by the universities, by the media, by politicians themselves, by culture, by this freaking psyop, to the point where you think that people who are normal, literally flippin' normal, are far right, or even like right of center. My friends, people like David Rubin get called a right-winger or alt-right. I mean, he's what you would call a classical liberal, right? He used to vote Democrat. Guys, there's no such thing. Right now, you're either normal or you're a communist. You're either good or you're evil. That's really what it comes down to. Guys, I understand you may not like Trump, the personality, the person. He's talking about grabbing this and grabbing that. Guys, meanwhile, his opponents, his former friends, the Clintons and other people, don't talk about grabbing things. They actually did it. Not only grabbing things, they did stuff with like underage girls, all horrible things. I'm not going to get into that now. Guys, the point is, this is about good and evil. This is about that one issue, because this one issue, Israel and the Jewish people, is a barometer for everything else. It's literally a barometer for everything else. Just like that guy in Argentina, Milei, the guy that just got elected. He just came to the Ohel of the Rebbe. He just had a video where he's doing Havdalah after Shabbat. Guys, maybe you should try to do Havdalah. Maybe you guys should try to do Shabbat. That would be nice. Instead of calling guys who have daughters who are Orthodox Jews and converts and do Havdalah and Shabbat and every holiday and every Yontif, calling those guys anti-Semites. Maybe you should try doing what Ivanka does. Maybe you should try having some Jewish kids and Jewish grandkids. Trump got more Jewish grandkids than you will have. How's that, guys? Before you go calling somebody an anti-Semite and his father, who built yeshivas and who loved Russian-speaking Jews, an anti-Semite. My friends, like, I love you guys. Keep supporting Israel. Fantastic. Shkoyach, Mazel Tov. But I gotta give you some tough love here, and I gotta open your eyes, because you guys have been, the media just pulled the wool over your eyes for the past pretty much 8 years, almost 9 years, really. It's scary. It's sad. Anyway, guys, for the folks who know about Trump's accomplishments when it comes to Jews in Israel, if you guys want to add anything that I missed, feel free. Any other questions, feel free. And to the rest of you guys, listen, I really hope you guys wake up. I really hope you guys wake up. I'm not saying this guy is the savior, some religious savior. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying that, like, we live in a dangerous world, guys. And ultimately, as you guys can see, nobody really cares about us. Nobody on campus, nobody in law. I don't say nobody in law enforcement, but a good portion of law enforcement. You guys, you know what happens with the cops. Like, they come by the time the situation is over. They're not coming. They don't come to prevent things. They can't. They already come once the whole, the party's over, and they're there to assess what happened, right? That's like at best. So that's not a knock on cops, guys. Don't get me wrong. Those of you guys are watching who are cops or friends of cops. So, my friends, we have to defend ourselves. And we have to vote for people who we know are on our side. And I'm here to tell you, contrary to what the media has drilled into your heads, the majority of the media. Donald Trump is on the side of Israel. He's on the side of Jews. His father was on the side of Jews and Israel. And there's no two ways about it. That's pretty much it. Voting for Biden and voting for, depending on where you live, even if you vote for a Democrat who's pro-Israel, their party has an infestation. You see it. And they don't look like they're going to get rid of their infestation anytime soon. You know what I'm talking about. In Michigan, in Minnesota, in certain places in New York, in the Bronx, and there's a few others, guys. It's not just those 3 or 4. It's not just the squad. There's like 20 of them, guys. We have a problem. There's a serious problem. And I think it's time for Jews in America to get off the political democratic plantation. What do they call it? Jexit. Jexit. Not to be confused with Jesuit. Anyway, guys. I love you. I'm Israel Chai. Tough love. It's all good. No hate, just unity, but Boker Tov. The light is in your face. Wake up, please. Thank you very much. Have a very good week. Be safe. Talk to you soon.